Most people fail at budgeting because they cut the wrong things. The goal isn't to stop spending money. The goal is to stop spending money on things you don't actually care about. Traditional financial advice often sounds simple. Stop buying coffee. Stop eating out. Stop spending money on entertainment. Unfortunately, that advice usually fails because it attacks the purchases people enjoy most. When people feel deprived, they eventually abandon the budget entirely. This creates a cycle of restriction, followed by overspending. Another important lesson is understanding that financial success is not built through deprivation. It is built through intentionality. This is where the concept of mindful spending becomes powerful. Mindful spending focuses on identifying what genuinely improves your life while eliminating expenses that provide little or no value. Another major principle is understanding the difference between joy spending and passive spending. Joy spending includes purchases that create meaningful happiness, memorable experiences, convenience you genuinely appreciate, or activities aligned with your values. Passive spending includes expenses that happen automatically, provide little satisfaction, and often go unnoticed. Subscription services you forgot about. Convenience purchases you barely remember making. Recurring charges that no longer serve a purpose. Another important lesson is that many people spend hundreds of dollars every month on things they barely notice. Meanwhile, they feel guilty about spending money on experiences they truly enjoy. Wealthy individuals often reverse this pattern. They spend confidently on things they value and aggressively eliminate things they don't. The goal is not becoming cheap. The goal is ensuring every dollar supports a meaningful purpose. Financial freedom often begins when spending becomes intentional rather than automatic. The first step in mindful spending is identifying your joy spend categories. Most people have several areas where spending creates genuine happiness. For some people, it might be travel. For others, it might be dining out with family. Some people value fitness, memberships, hobbies, books, education, or experiences with friends. Another important lesson is understanding that your joy spend categories are personal. Financial success does not require everyone to spend money the same way. Another major principle is removing guilt from intentional spending. Many consumers constantly feel guilty whenever they spend money, even when those purchases align with their values. Wealthy individuals frequently understand that money is a tool. Tools are meant to be used strategically. Another important lesson is that spending on things you truly value often reduces the desire for random spending elsewhere. When life feels enjoyable and aligned with personal priorities, emotional spending often decreases naturally. Another major issue is comparison. Many people spend money trying to match lifestyles they see online. They purchase things they believe they should want instead of focusing on what they actually value. Mindful spending requires honesty. If expensive vacations create meaningful memories, prioritize them. If fitness improves your quality of life, invest in it. If family experiences matter most, direct resources there. The goal is not copying someone else's financial plan. The goal is building one that reflects your own values. Once joy spending becomes clear, eliminating waste becomes significantly easier because every dollar has a defined purpose. After identifying joy spending, the next step is uncovering passive spending. This is often where the biggest opportunities exist. Passive spending occurs when money leaves your account without creating meaningful value. Another important lesson is that passive spending often hides in plain sight. Subscription services are a common example. Many people pay for multiple streaming services, apps, memberships, and recurring charges they rarely use. Another major issue is convenience spending. Small purchases feel insignificant individually, but become expensive when repeated daily. Another important lesson is that passive spending rarely feels exciting. Most people do not gain meaningful happiness from forgotten subscriptions or impulse purchases. Yet these expenses quietly consume hundreds or even thousands of dollars every year. Another major principle is awareness. Financial improvements become possible when spending becomes visible. Wealthy individuals frequently review financial statements because awareness creates control. Another important lesson is that passive spending often occurs because decisions are made once and then repeated automatically. Companies design products and services to encourage recurring payments because recurring payments are easy to ignore. The challenge is that ignored expenses still affect financial progress. The goal is not eliminating every small purchase. The goal is identifying expenses that provide little value relative to their cost. Once these expenses are identified, redirecting those dollars becomes easy. Money previously disappearing into passive spending can now support savings, investing, debt reduction, or meaningful joy spending categories. Another powerful aspect of mindful spending is its impact on financial stress. Many people believe financial stress comes entirely from income limitations. While income matters, unnecessary expenses frequently contribute significantly to financial pressure. Another important lesson is understanding that financial stress often comes from misalignment. People spend heavily in areas they do not value, while neglecting areas that actually improve their lives. Another major principle is intentional trade-offs. Every dollar spent represents a choice. Wealthy individuals frequently understand that spending is less about affordability and more about prioritization. Another important lesson is that reducing passive spending creates flexibility. Flexibility creates options. Options create freedom. When unnecessary expenses decrease, financial resilience increases. Emergency funds grow faster. Investments receive additional contributions. Debt repayment accelerates. Another major issue is that many consumers never experience the full benefit of their income because money leaks constantly through unnoticed spending. Mindful spending closes those leaks. Another important lesson is that financial success does not require perfection. It requires awareness and consistency. Small improvements, repeated month after month, often produce extraordinary long-term results. The goal is creating a financial system that feels sustainable. Sustainable systems outperform extreme systems because they can be maintained for years instead of weeks. The ultimate truth about mindful spending is that financial freedom is not created by cutting everything. It is created by spending intentionally. Most people believe budgeting means sacrifice. In reality, effective budgeting means alignment. It means directing resources toward things that genuinely improve your life, while eliminating expenses that quietly drain your future opportunities. Another important lesson is that money is a reflection of priorities. Every purchase sends a signal about what matters most. Wealthy individuals often make this process intentional rather than accidental. They identify their joy spending categories and spend confidently within them. They identify passive spending and eliminate it aggressively. Another major principle is understanding that happiness and financial responsibility are not opposites. When spending aligns with values, both can exist simultaneously. Another important lesson is that every dollar has a choice. It can disappear unnoticed, or it can support a meaningful purpose. It can create a memory. It can build an asset. It can strengthen security. It can improve quality of life. The goal is not spending less. The goal is spending better. If you found value in this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the Daily Yield. Then leave a comment below and tell us your biggest joy spend and the biggest passive spend you're eliminating this month. Because we're building real financial progress, one step at a time.